This is Lyle, and I'm joined here with my friend Gatling.
Hello there, greetings.
And we're going to play a little game for the end of the month, Last Straw. What did you have in mind, Gatling?
Well, previously we had a voice conversation. We had a debate between comparing two movies that were identical to each other. And, yes, with similarities. And we took the idea from Matrix about the blue pill and the red pill. Blue pill being the more easier to understand and easier to digest sort of concept, where the red pill is more of a riskier movie or show, whatever it is that we're comparing it to.
Okay, so red pill is more like subversion, and the blue pill is like more safe.
Yes.
Okay,
so blue pill, and by the way, blue pill does not necessarily mean that the movie or show that we give it means it's bad.
No.
If saying it's blue pill, it already means it's generally liked. So it's
Yeah. No, it's not really. It's not really a mark of quality or anything. It's more like just like if it had an idealism, what would it have? That sort of idea.
Exactly.
Should we carry on to our first on the list?
Sure. So I forgot we had this one though, but this is to get out of the way. It's only one we have for music, the category. All right. So Bloodhound Gang versus Your Favorite Martian. Which one's the blue pill and which one's the red pill?
Well, I appreciate your input.
Do you want to go first though?
Okay. This one's kind of interesting because like, they're both trying so hard to be Beastie Boys. It's like insane.
Really?
I don't know. I get that impression. Like Your Favorite Martian's trying to be like this like crass pop culture junkie kind of hip hop, and Bloodhound Gang's trying to be like new metal, but with the same irreverence as like Blink-182.
Well, here's the thing. I absolutely adore Bloodhound Gang.
Yeah.
And Your Favorite Martian is something that's like, you'll be hard pressed not to find anyone back in like 2011 who wasn't hearing these songs. I mean, and this was like, Your Favorite Martian was pretty much like the most middle school thing ever.
Truly, yeah. I listened to it a lot in like high school.
But the thing is, they always had these tendencies to make some of the most strangest topics for their songs, and just really out there lyrics, followed by like kind of creative looking cartoon music videos that some were it was like poorly animated anyways, but
yeah,
I don't know, there's some sort of creativity to it, but it was such a mixed bag. Yeah,
it wasn't always good. Same could be said for Bloodhound Gang. Like they were like trying to be wild, crazy, like frat bros, I guess. I remember I saw a video of them recently. I actually just got... I went through a bit where I started watching them live. They're not very good live, but one thing that I saw was like in 2006, like the bassist like took a piss all over this singer while they were like on stage. And yeah.
Do you know they used to like get like water guns and fill it up with piss and like squirt into the audience and shit?
Yeah, see that's pretty raw. I mean, I don't know. Is there a hidden meaning to the piss?
No, but let me just say, with the song's comparison with Bloodhound Gang versus Your Favorite Martian, Bloodhound Gang, yeah, was like new metal, but they also did like they started to like experiment with like party sounds or house music.
Yeah,
especially in the... What the fuck was the album called? You and Me, Baby, Nothing, Mammals or some shit. What the fuck was that song? The album called?
It's called the album or the song. The song was called "The Bad Touch."
Bad Touch. What was that album called?
I think it was called "Hooray."
It's on the tip of my tongue.
"Hooray for Boobies."
Right. Okay. But even before that, they were making their first album came out in 1995, and they were just absolute jokers before they were musicians.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think like with Your Favorite Martian, it's like a lot of it was just kind of like nerdy and like kind of try hard. But with Bloodhound Gang, it felt like their like lyrics. I'm not saying it was any deeper, but it was just like they were kind of eloquent in the ways they would like discuss like vulgar topics.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of like cleverness to it for a while, anyways.
Your Favorite Martian was more like deadpan.
It's kind of like it's pretty surface level, yeah.
I think when it comes to like the music, the songs in general, it seems like Your Fair Martian tends to troll their fans more than Bloodhound Gang has.
Really?
I mean, transphobic techno, where the whole lyric was "bitch got a penis" over and over again,
Yeah.
was a song. Their debut song was about, his balls being so big, and
Yeah.
it's just a ridiculous title. Hold on, I don't even know, like, how in the fuck he decided he just got a song about, like, his testicles, and it's something he wants to upload onto the internet.
I think I'm gonna have to like say Bloodhound Gang is red pill and Your Favorite Martian is blue pill.
Basically, I would go with Bloodhound Gang is Red Pill,
Mm-hmm.
because it was more sought after. Well, Your Favorite Martian was kind of too mainstream. Not to sound like a hipster, but it was really more widespread, because if the Bloodhound Gang videos came out during the if the music videos didn't come out in the '90s, so they came out today, they would be like big, like $1 billion, billions of views and shit. You know what I mean? It'd be like,
Yeah, I feel like
well, Your Favorite Martian came out and had like this came out in the right time with the internet and memes and shit becoming a trend.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Next one is, this is gonna be a good one. The Incredibles versus Watchmen. Which one's blue pill? Which one's red pill? I'll let you go with that, but I got a lot to say about it.
They're both very, very similar. Like, it's about a group, like, basically superheroes who had their heyday, but then, like, they got, like, basically commissioned by the government to be like, no, you gotta be regulated, you're not supposed to be superheroes anymore, you fall in line or you fall out. Yeah, and they're both, like, focused on, like, middle-aged superheroes who, like, kind of lost their luster for life, and through a series of murders that lead them to this, like, well, I guess with Watchmen it's the murders, with The Incredibles it's like the allure of like a new mission that kind of reveals a series of murders.
And both are very dark as well.
Yeah, so God, this is really freaking
Mature
hard
subject matter.
because it's all.
Yeah,
I mean, both of them are very similar, but like one is, I mean, it's clearly like target audiences are much different. Like Incredibles is definitely is more of a general audience. Watchmen, it's a far more adult audience. I wouldn't have my kids read Watchmen.
I did when I was a kid. I remember. Okay, real quick. I remember I was like 8 or 9 years old, right around the time when the Watchmen got released on the movies back in 2009.
Yeah, they made the movie. Yeah,
and I read the graphic novel at that time, which is funny as hell to me, because, I mean, both, even though we're not debating which one is better, the book or the movie, both are very heavy on mature subject matter.
right.
So I find it funny that I was reading that as a kid. I was probably just looking at the photos and not even reading the words, because I was just,
Yeah, I remember when the movie came out,
read.
I would often just, if I found a copy of the book in like a bookstore, I would just kind of flip through it and not really read it all that much. Just kind of like if a page caught my eye, I would look at the page for a while.
Should I give my 2 cents right now?
Yeah, give your 2 cents. I think I know what I'm gonna say, but I want to hear yours first.
Okay, Incredibles is much more darker for a children's movie, which is a decent risk.
Yeah, I know.
It's not about dumbing down it's not about dumbing down the thing, but like trying to tell a dark story through its means.
Yeah,
you know
it covers some pretty heavy themes. Like you got like genocide and adultery, and even like dealing with like a midlife crisis. Like that's the kind of stuff you just don't see in children's movies because it might not
family stresses
might not really appeal to them necessarily. But I still ate it up.
Both, the villains for both Watchmen and Incredibles, I feel like if we're just talking about the first Incredibles, what's that little dickhead's name?
Syndrome.
Yeah, the dude looks like a freaking like troll doll come to life, ass looking. Such a fucking dork, but he's such a psychopath at the same time. Like, this dude carelessly just takes all the risks just as a pleasure. Like he would have loved to see Mr. Incredible crush his assistant, the death. Even though he knew he wasn't going to do it, he would have loved to see it. He would have loved to be proven wrong, just to feed his own psychotic viewpoint of how twisted he is.
Oh, absolutely.
He has no remorse for killing any superheroes at all, and was even willing to kill the family,
right,
with the children.
Right.
Like he shot the rocket in the plane, right?
Yeah.
Where Ozymandias from Watchmen was kind of like doing this whole plan where, even though his idea was still a sacrifice to have a lot of people die.
Yeah,
it was like it was a
conspiracy. Killing millions to save billions.
He was not necessarily just a hero who was going to make a decision that was not blinded at all by morality, but based on logic.
Yeah.
So he does come off as sort of a villainish.
Well, he is a villain, but ultimately what he does ends up working.
Right.
Which is so ultimately what he did was far more productive than what anyone else in the entire world was doing, despite like the severity.
Dr. Manhattan was like given cancer.
Well,
people.
He wasn't, but like he was framed to make it seem like he was.
Yeah, that was part of the conspiracy that someone was after superheroes. After the comedian got thrown out the fucking window, Cowboy Bebop style. Right.
Cowboy Bebop. Someone should make a video where you play that song when he falls, and just do like flashbacks to all the horrible shit he did throughout his life.
Yeah, totally. That was the thing, that he was being killed by someone he was, not to really spoil it, but he was being killed by someone he had a history with, just like in Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, exactly.
Incredibles, they told the superheroes to go away, but how do they handle the villains? Because they're not bound by any law. They won't care about what a court system says about them.
I guess,
how did they resign?
I don't know. I guess like the cops shot him or something. It's like, fuck all this superhero bullshit. You get these handcuffs on you or we're gonna kill you, Mr. Mime. But that's an excellent point. I don't know if they do establish that either in Watchmen. Because like
in Watchmen they did. With the cops, they had the freaking like the police strike or some shit going down. That's when they ride in the street, and the comedian just beat the shit out of a bunch of protesters.
Yeah, but I was saying like the villains in Watchmen, they kind of just either end up in jail or they just kind of like fade out, I guess, like the heroes did. I'm gonna say Watchmen is red pill and Incredibles is blue pill. Although in their own right, I guess they would technically both be red pill in their respective like, target audiences. There isn't anything quite like The Incredibles when it comes to Pixar. And there isn't a lot like Watchmen in the...
Except for maybe Ratatouille, but that's not the same theme and subject matter, just the same.
Yeah, there's a level of maturity in Ratatouille. Made by the same guy, too. Brad Bird. What the hell?
Yeah.
Is Brad Bird the Alan Moore of Pixar movies? Or animated movies in general? I would say so.
I would go with red pill for Watchmen, too, and blue pill for Incredibles.
All right.
And final thoughts... Mrs. Incredible's got that ass.
So does Silk Spectre, too.
Alright. Well, that's why Dr. Manhattan want to get up in that shit. Okay, so... Alright. Moving on.
Yes.
Pixies... sorry.
We talked about this.
Pixar versus Disney.
Oh, shit.
I want to fucking listen to Pixies right now. How the fuck do you read Pixies from Pixar?
This Buzz Lightyear's gone to heaven. Buzz Lightyear's gone to heaven.
Fucking moody shit right there.
That's some moody shit right there. Yeah. God.
So
when I look at the business model for Pixar and the way they organize, like the way they do their like creative work in teams, and I see like the amount of dedication they put into their craft, and I look at Disney, which has just become this massive conglomerate that is almost like the Blob in the way it just absorbs and like assimilates everything into its bubble. It's like, damn.
Okay.
I don't know, man. It's hard. I think I like Pixar because it was like it was kind of one of the first of its kind, and I guess in a way Disney was the first of its kind too, to be like a.
Not necessarily
Well,
though,
I'm
because
talking
Warner
about. I'm
Brothers.
talking about like well, yeah, like Warner Brothers made Looney Tunes, sure, but like Disney was like making full on feature films, which were kind of unheard of at the time for like animation. Like we could draw pictures for like a whole year and compile it into a movie. What?
Yeah.
And then you have Pixar where it's like, yeah, we'll do like commercials and like maybe shorts here and there. But what if we take this to the next level? What if we make a frickin' movie? And then it's like Steve Jobs was like funding them for the longest time, and then he was like, man, if this doesn't work, man, we're gonna have to sell your computers, and like I'm gonna have to like pull out. Like Pixar had the Toy Story had to be outstanding, you know? Fuck. I think I'm gonna have to say Pixar is pretty red-pilled. I always admire their approach to projects. They have like a creative method for pulling off these stories, and while I will say they're kind of like decreasing in terms of like originality or like, you know, novelty,
Creativity.
they're still making some of the best like like computer animated films of their time. And I think Disney still
Right.
has to catch up at times to be on their level sometimes. And
Right.
I guess Disney was it was still groundbreaking for their time. Like they're the ones that basically developed like films where like human actors could interact with like cartoons, and like they're still doing things that are kind of state of the art. They've always
I want to interject real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, you keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go then. Real quick though, Disney has tried to do a 3D movie without Pixar, and that resulted in Chicken Little, which was kind of a controversial movie.
Yeah.
To say. I mean, I remember when that movie came out in 2006, and not really anyone talked about it, but I do remember the McDonald's have meal toys and all that shit, and
Okay.
even him being in Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh, fuck, I forgot I was going with that plot. What the fuck? I forgot I was going to go with my point. Oh, yeah, the new Buzz Lightyear. Okay, so Toy Story. The new Buzz Lightyear characters kind of look like characters out of Gears of War and shit right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're trying to go for a more realistic approach, and I'm like, okay, if you can make it work, go ahead. So I applaud Pixar for trying to do risks like that, even though they seem kind of like only visual ones at most.
Yeah.
And even like the Buzz Lightyear to Space Command, whatever the movie was called, it was like the 2D animated one with the janitor and the robot.
Yeah, I remember that one. They made it into a show.
And that hot ass alien chick, whatever her name
Yeah,
was,
voiced by Shigo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Nicole Sullivan did the voice of the blue one.
Same one as like the Joan of Arc from Clone High.
Yeah.
Damn, fuck, no wonder she's so damn fun. She's got all these like sexy characters already under her.
I know,
fucking
right?
voice.
I'm the only one who seems to like point that out. It's like,
Shigo, Joan of Arc.
she
now,
also
like,
played
God
she
damn.
played the mom in Meet the Robinsons.
What the fuck she look like? I don't even
She
remember.
looked like the girl from Brooklyn
Was
Nine-Nine.
that the black chick? It was like wait, hold on.
No, not the black chick. I'm talking about like Will's mom, the one who conducted frogs to sing music.
Hold on. That chick?
Yeah, Franny. Her name is Franny.
That she was like a fucking. She looks like a weird hot like hodgepodge between like Elvis and like a gender bent Elvis or some shit like that. And a Star Trek character. It's like taking a Star Trek character and making it like a gender bent Elvis. That's what I see here.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but
Anyway, so
I know that's
Pixar
weird, but
and Disney. Which one's red and which one's blue? Why do we always go off topic so much?
I'm sorry, man.
Okay, it's alright.
But yeah,
I'm gonna say Pixar is red pilled, and like Disney probably would have one point been red pilled, but I just find them they play it so safe lately. It's not even like interesting anymore. Anytime they make something new, so I'm gonna have to say they're pretty blue pilled.
and in my opinion, Disney would be, you know, even though they're OGs and Walt Disney was a pimp, you know, making his thing back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, I like that he built like a decade's worth of history, kind of,
A,
from the
a
ground up,
decade, don't you mean like a century?
or a century, I
They've
guess.
been
Yeah,
kind of around for a while. They're almost reaching like 100 years of age, which is pretty insane.
and they're still making money. They're still making, they're still making Skrilla,
Yeah.
like Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts. Their video
Why do you keep
games,
going on
the
about Kingdom
Marvel,
Hearts? They got like Marvel and Star Wars now.
Star Wars, and yeah, no, but exactly. They got all these like money magnet kind of things. Of course they're gonna be just eternal for the rest of our lives. You're never gonna see this day where America will crumble before Disney crumbles.
That's true, honestly.
That's if we're gonna get political there.
That's a pretty bold statement, but I 100% agree.
So
Alright, what's next?
that's done with the movies.
Yeah.
The next and final category, shows. Okay, Aqua Teen Hunger Force versus Robot Chicken. Red pill, blue pill.
This is interesting. They're both kind of like the progenitors of like Adult Swim. Like they were some of the first shows to appear on the block. I like Aqua Teen Hunger Force because it was kind of like one of the first shows to be animated with Flash, or like at least animated in such a way where it's like the cost of the episode was like significantly less than most shows, because they would often use like pre-made assets and they wouldn't really like tinker too much with the backgrounds. It's like it was cheap, but what made it special was just how like abstract it could be. Like it used a lot of surrealism and like non sequiturs to its advantage.
Well, as Robot Chicken was kind of tied to its pop culture roots.
Well, I also appreciate Robot Chicken for the fact that it's like a stop motion animated show, which is not as common as you think. I mean, it's still going even after all these years.
Definitely one of the survivors of Adult Swim. I mean, not even Aqua Teen Hunger Force lasted this long.
No.
And Squidbillies, which is also going away.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I don't know. I never watched that. But yeah,
it's legendary.
Yeah, I don't know. But I feel like with Robot Chicken, it's like I don't really get much out of it. It's kind of in one ear, out the other kind of stuff. Like everything's like a sound bite. It's like, oh, look, a pop culture reference. And oh, before I can think too much on it, next. Like, I almost get, like, ADD just watching Robot Chicken. With Aqua Teen Hunger Force, I feel like I kind of go through an experience, It's like...
It's like an ADD, storytelling, but only in, like, on a linear way, while Robot Chicken goes in different directions. It doesn't follow any central topic.
Yeah, well...
Like, the craziness of Aqua Teen Hunger Force will at least stay in the line of the story that it's presented in each episode, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, with Aqua Teen Hunger Force, what I love the most about it is that it's set up like almost like a detective show or like an adventure show where they encounter like larger-than-life things and they have big like epic tales, but really they mostly just stay around their house all fucking day, and then like there's something occurs and they investigate it, kinda. They don't really care, and then something happens and they're like, alright. And sometimes they die, and it's just like, alright, next episode, they're fine, whatever. Like, it has almost no development whatsoever, but it just still keeps working, and I don't know what the trick is.
It's one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, I like that show. I don't know, it's just like, I think it's just fun. Like, it has like this irreverence to it where I never know what to expect. Whereas Robot Chicken, it's kind of like, well, I know what the humor style is like, more or less. So I can kind of tell where they're going most of the time. I don't know, I think Aqua Teen, I'm going to have to say, is kind of red-pilled because it has this attitude to it that feels like subversive, and you wouldn't have many things that we have now on the show, like, I don't know, like Smiling Friends or like Rick and Morty, without like at least like Aqua Teen Hunger Force paving the way for shows to be kind of like out there, and it doesn't have to have the biggest budget, it just has to be like fun and fresh. Robot Chicken, I'd say, is blue-pilled. I mean, it's kind of like it can appeal to pretty much anyone. Like, it's pretty like I wouldn't say it's like always safe, but it's like more or less, it's pretty much just relies on like maybe shock humor every once in a while, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's kind of a nice twist on what I used to play with as a kid. I don't know.
One show, Aqua Teen, is like a cheaply made show and like Photoshop and very basic looking characters, while as Robot Chicken is more, it takes more skill to develop.
Yeah, I mean, I
even
wouldn't. I
though it's
wouldn't
still
say
like a lo-fi kind of
Robot Chicken's
budget.
not lazily put together, but like I don't know.
They have to think outside the box and work with their limitations.
Yeah,
See what the best thing they can make.
yeah, exactly.
I would say Aqua Teen Hunger first gets my red pill, and Robot Chicken gets my blue pill, just for
That
as creative as it gets and how unique it is. It's still kind of chained to like pop culture, not really free form as Aqua Teen. And Aqua Teen even has a movie which I
uh,
once stole off. I pirated once off of Pornhub, which you know, me being a
I
broke ass
wanna.
teenager, I didn't
I
give a
want to
shit.
see that movie, but it doesn't look very good.
It's actually
Oh,
amazing.
okay. I just that
Yeah,
theme song is my jam.
Space Ghost is in it.
Of course he is. All right.
So
I think
next one is
I, I think I have enough energy for maybe one more.
okay. So Family Guy versus Simpsons. Which one's blue pill? Which one's red pill? This is the
Oh
final one.
man, this one's. It's like I look at The Simpsons and I remember like it was kind of cutting edge for its time. Like you had like Bart Simpson as like a ne'er do well who always like broke the rules, and it was kind of like considered like dangerous at the time. Like you had parents saying, "Oh, you can't watch that. Don't wear Bart Simpson t-shirts at school. You'll get banned." And it's just like, all right, wow. And now you look at like the modern landscape of adult animation, and it's like, yeah, Bart Simpson's not really that big of a deal anymore. South Park even took the piss out of them, and it's just like you look at Family Guy, and it's like Family Guy started out kind of tame by comparison, like to what it
Actually, I
is.
like Family Guy better in the early days
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I
than later
love
on.
early Family Guy, but I'm saying like compared to like what Family Guy is today, it's just like yeah, they were kind of like a little bit more clever and a little bit more sophisticated. Like the references were abundant, sure, but there was like a little bit more emphasis on like the characters, and there's a little bit more, a little tiny bit more growth here and there.
And Peter Griffin wasn't really that much of a
Oh yeah,
dumbass.
yeah, he wasn't like
Like it seems like Peter ends up just being the biggest dumbass of the entire like history of animated characters.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm
Peter
saying?
got
Like
worse and worse as time went on, and so did most of the other characters, except for maybe like Stewie and Stewie. But I don't know. Like it's just really, I think Family Guy definitely tried to be edgier than The Simpsons. I don't know if that was always for the best.
yep.
But then you look at The Simpsons, and it just got slowly less and less relevant as time went on. I don't know a single person who ever talks to me about Modern Simpsons. The only time, yeah,
However,
like Modern
sorry,
Simpsons is
what?
like a vacuum now, and even Modern Family Guy is kind of a vacuum now too. It's like no one really talks about it.
The last time I saw Martin Simpsons was like 2013 when they did like Breaking Bad. That's how long it's been.
Yeah, I think both shows have kind of fallen off the wayside, and they probably, no, they won't, but they should have ended a while ago or whatever. But
I mean, Family Guy jumped shark back in 2011
like
anyway,
with
so
Brian,
no, that was
oh,
2013.
then
It's like
what
2014,
was
I think.
2011 that made it jump the shark?
I forgot, but like I remember reading a tweet back in the day. I wasn't really even watching Family Guy that much as a kid.
Yeah,
It's kind of one of those things I just picked up later on in life, but you know,
yeah,
Simpsons was more iconic because it was out there. It was more easily available to watch,
yeah,
and it had more classics
yeah.
under its
Simpsons.
belt.
Well, you know what's amazing about Family Guy is the amount of times it's been canceled, and yet it still keeps coming back from the ashes.
Well, because Fox doesn't know what to do with their
Yeah,
money.
no, Fox can make dumb decisions, but like, it's crazy that like The Simpsons stayed so strong, and even to this day, it's still like a viable property, believe it or not. And it's just with Simpsons, I feel like Simpsons is a bit more approachable for anyone. Like, I don't think it's nearly as like bad for you as I've heard parents say it is. Family Guy is not good for kids. I would say that much. I remember I got grounded a lot
Yeah,
for watching Family Guy and emulating.
and I told you a story yesterday where my mother forbade me from watching Family Guy.
Yeah,
But then one time I walked into her room and saw she was. I was already. I walked into her watching Family Guy, and it was the most hilarious thing because it was the exact scene where like the retarded horse was licking Peter Griffin's butt cheeks.
what made you come
And like, how
around,
embarrassing
Lois?
can you? Oh God, how embarrassing can you be to like to get caught by your own kid watching a show that you forbid them from watching at the most embarrassing scene you could possibly
Yeah, it's
think
pretty
of.
funny, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, do I want to say Family Guy is more red-pilled than The Simpsons?
I would not say so because at least Simpsons has more of a had deeper mysteries. Family Guy kind of goes for cliche mysteries that kind of have disappointing
Are
like
you talking about the
endings.
plot?
For example, like Family Guy. Family Guy had like this one thing where like Stewie kills Lois and it turns out to be a simulation.
Yeah, true.
Or Family
I'll say
Guy had
this,
like
yeah,
they had they kill off Brian and then he came back anyways.
yeah. I will say this, like, I think the Family Guy has some of the laziest writing I've ever seen in a cartoon. Like,
Right.
yeah, I watched some episodes and it's like the plot is so superfluous that by the end of it, I don't even care how it ends. It's more like I can watch Family Guy in like little bits, kind of like Robot Chicken, where it's like sound bites of jokes appear and they have no context or thorough line with the actual like plot, and that's why it's
Right.
actually more fun to watch a Family Guy compilation than it is to watch a full episode. Simpsons, on the other hand,
Gotcha.
Simpsons, like in its prime, it had some of the best TV writing like ever. Like some of these
Okay.
episodes could be like incredibly like unique, or like they could cover a topic really really well, or it could
Gotcha.
really like pull at your emotions. I don't know, like,
I mean, Who Shot Mr. Burns was a big mystery as
yeah,
well. And just comparing it to those Family Guy
I can
ones that
see
were just
what
kind
you
of wasted
mean. And
opportunity.
in a way, like Simpsons like basically paved the way for Family Guy, and Family Guy kind of like took the formula and just tried to make it like far more like crass in a way. It did things
Yeah.
that Simpsons didn't dare to do. Because Simpsons has
Right.
boundaries. Like, it's not gonna, like... I mean, unless if it's, like, a treehouse of horror, it doesn't really try to, like, shock the audience too
Less
much.
sexual content is for sure.
Yeah,
Family Guy is kind of like overloaded on sexual content and trying to be like, I don't know, violent at times as well.
yeah, it's so much. It's so much sometimes. It's kind of overstimulating at times. Yeah, I don't know. Would I go so far as to say, yeah, I guess Simpsons was kind of amazingly cutting edge at the time. I mean, yeah, you could say, oh, it's like the Flintstones, but the Flintstones is like a relic of its time. The Simpsons made its own mark on like animation and TV. So for that, like much like how we say like Pixies is like the red pill to Nirvana's blue pill, I think Simpsons should be red pill, and like Family Guy can be like kind of blue pillish at times.
All right, and that's where I would go up to with the Simpsons being red pill as well, and Family Guy being blue pill, even though it tries to stand out in comparison.
Yeah.
It is rather hit or miss, where Simpson kind of has an established streak of just being absolute perfect for like a all those like between like the when it started until like maybe like the early 2000s when people started to zone out. That makes sense. I don't know exactly what season that would be, but
No,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like most people point to like season 10 to be the season that kind of killed The Simpsons. But then Family Guy, like I don't
What year was that though?
what
What year was season 10?
like probably like 1999 or maybe 2000. I don't know. But like I don't know. They don't really pinpoint the season that killed off Family Guy. There's like three eras. There's like
Deteriorated.
the first era where it was like seasons 1 to 3 where before they got canceled. And then you have like the era where people kind of gave a shit about Family Guy, like seasons 4 to 6, maybe even up to like 7, 8. I don't know. And then like it kind of, no pun intended, it kind of petered out. It's kind of weird though. I'm watching season 20 right now, and it's like, wow, some of these episodes
Of what? Family Guy or
of Family
Simpsons?
Guy, yeah, and like season
Yeah.
20 has some really good bangers actually. There's an episode where like Lois goes crazy because she wants to be like customer of the week at this like fucking coffee shop, and she abducts like she tries to like give the employee one of the employees a peanut allergy reaction so she can like stab her with an EpiPen. It's like, I saved your life. Can I be customer of the week? And
How
then
the
there's
fuck?
like another episode where
What?
it's like entirely based on like 1940s cinema, and that one was pretty good too. I need to finish it actually. I really like it so far. So yeah, it's like
But bottom line though, Simpsons and Family Guy, which one's red pill, which is blue
I
pill?
thought we established this. I think Simpsons is red pill and Family Guy kind of picked up the
Okay.
slack and became blue pill kind of. Because I always know what to
Okay.
expect with Family Guy. It's always the same format.
I'll go with Simpsons red pill then, and Family Guy blue
All
pill.
right, awesome. Well, this has been an interesting kind of discussion piece. I don't see too many people have like because there's like always like would you rather or like which one's better. There's always that debate, but it's kind of interesting to try to like fit like like a piece of fiction into kind of like a philosophy or a kind of like idealism. It's kind of
Right, we were just ripping off the Matrix and making it into a little game of comparing two things that have a lot of similarities to each other, and I don't know. It's a funny idea.
yeah. I think maybe other soda speakers would like to do this sometime. I'm not sure. This was just kind of a trial run. But it's
Yeah,
definitely interesting. But oh man, I am beat.
yeah, me too. So yeah, this has been Gatling X_X on Instagram and SoundCloud. You can find me as well. Um, I've also run a Tumblr blog where I repost and a music blog where I showcase like obscure music and underground online albums from Bandcamp or SoundCloud, any sort of distributor. If you have any music that's underground you want to get it known, send it to me and I'll do my best to try to repost it and get it out there.
All right, sounds good, sir. Sounds good. And yeah, stay tuned for more so to speak, more pop talk, more last straw. And yeah, stay thirsty, my friends.
Okay, my last straw. I want to talk to you guys today about personal practices. More specifically, two really big ones that I have been practicing very frequently for the past 5 to 10 years, I would say. So obviously, today, there's been a total shift in our mental state due to the pandemic and ways we can learn to cope with all of this, as well as try to feel a little bit better, are ways like the usual meditation, exercise, even just a simple act of thinking positive. And while those are obviously effective and definitely commendable, there's two that I want to talk to you guys today about, ones that have definitely helped me out to live my life and not feel like there's a lot of too much of everything, I should say. So the first personal practice I want to talk to you guys about is minimalism. Now, minimalism goes a little bit deeper in terms of how you would apply that onto your life. And it's something I picked up on actually about 10 or so years ago when I moved to Toronto. I was cleaning out my bedroom and yeah, my closet was pretty jam-packed with everything you can think of. And that kind of got me questioning, okay, do I need this or do I want this to be around still? Do I have to have this? And that kind of like sparked something in terms of, oh wow, well I clearly don't need a lot of this stuff. So I should probably throw this stuff away. And I actually felt a bit better and it was a lot simpler moving into my first apartment. So if you guys are wondering how you would apply this onto your life, because I know that minimalism gets a lot of criticism, saying that it's just capitalism trying to make people as bland as IKEA ads, which I completely disagree with. There are 3 things that I feel like you could definitely apply onto your life to make your life feel a lot less cluttered. And that's actually the first factor, is that you gotta get rid of all the clutter, whether it's receipts from places you've bought, plastic bags, piles and piles of things that you have lying around. Like, if you got a collection of something, make a spot for it. Everything deserves a spot. Get a shelf, get a bookcase, get it all having just like one specific place for it. Just put a little bit of pride in the stuff that you have. So with clutter, it goes a little bit into talking a little bit more about cleaning and cleansiness, where I think there's definitely a fine line between actually actively and putting effort into cleaning something, and then as opposed to just a superficial tidy up, which is what I can be like sometimes, but deep cleaning can go a long way. But we're not talking about that. We're talking more about if there are stuff lying around that you're like, there's no use for this, just get rid of it. And there's just, you end up finding stuff that you've been looking for the longest time. So that's one factor, just getting rid of the clutter. Another factor would be something I just mentioned earlier, would be to know the difference between your wants and your needs. Now, obviously, we're all young, or maybe you're a little bit older. Who knows what your credit card accounts look like? Have you maxed them out? Have you been keeping it consistently paid off? But who knows? But if you're at a mall and you're like, I want that, you got to think to yourself, okay, do I need that right now? I could hold off, wait for sales. I can hold off and just wait for me to feel like I want to get into that at a specific time, because maybe you're already into something to begin with, and why let that go? I know I'm keeping it super vague, but it can apply onto anything that you have. Do I need this thing to get through my life? Do I need this thing to get through my day happy and safe and sufficient? Or do I just want this because I feel like I need to have it? And that can also be dangerous, because if you feel like you need to have it to feel like you need to fit in, then that's also you just losing your identity a bit, and you're just trying to go along with what everybody else is doing. That is very dangerous, and you should definitely think twice. So difference between your wants and your needs. And lastly, the other factor with minimalism is procrastination. Now, hey, I'm looking at you right now. Yeah, you. As I just said, procrastination, so many things in your head just popped in like, fuck, I haven't gotten down to that yet. I haven't done this yet. Yeah, I know. I'm looking at you right now. But that's okay, because you can get down to them right now. Like, pause this fucking podcast and get down to them right now and come back to me. Just get the little things out of the way, whether it's doing a favor for a friend, whether it's making an appointment for something, just kind of balance out your life a little bit, because then there's less clutter. That's what I mean. When you got so many errands, so many jobs to do, your kind of motivation gets lost. So that's definitely something I've definitely put into practice for the last 10 years, I would say. And it's something I've passed down to a few friends of mine that have come back to say, you know what? Since I have applied minimalism on my life has turned out quite well. It's like a fucking commercial I can start. It definitely makes your life a little bit happier. Now, the second personal practice I want to talk to you guys about is something that I didn't know how to label it for the longest time until it was like a few months back. I think maybe even earlier on in the year. I stumbled across a really entertaining YouTube video about this guy saying, I remember his name. His name was Chris Gore, and he was in charge of Film Threat, this company that reviews short films and all that. And he was talking about media diet. And when he was describing it, I was like, oh my God, this is something I've been practicing for 5 years or so. And what media diet really is if you claim you're into something, you kind of have to have a really strong variety in what you're into. So meaning, for instance, music. If you're just a person that listens to nothing but stuff that you hear on the radio, you're not really listening to music. You haven't deep dive into what's out there locally, what's out there independently, just some obscured stuff that will, if it ends up touching you in a very nice way, which is what music is supposed to do, then jump on it with enthusiasm and don't just be like, well, no one's ever heard of this. Clearly it's not that good. No, it's bullshit. If it gravitates to you, then have some enthusiasm with it. With film, oh my God. To not name any names, but I know so many friends that either stick to old films and they think everything today is shit, and vice versa. They love everything hot and ready out of that Hollywood oven, and they will jump on it right away. When I'm thinking, you do know that there's been decades of stuff that have come out before that wasn't just released yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Having a balanced media diet with like film is just sort of like, okay, if I'm going to go see a big Hollywood film, I'm going to go balance that out by checking out a independent film. And then when I'm at home, I'll go check out a documentary. I'll check out a television show. I might throw in something that I've seen numerous times before. You can't just really stick to some niche and some, how do I say it, just like one type of part of the media. If you love that certain media, you got to jump on it and have a nice balance with it. It's just like food. You know, you can't just eat candy. And if you are someone that sticks to a really strict diet of healthy stuff, who fucking cares if you pick up some candy once in a while? It's not like you're going to go crazy. You just need to balance it out really well. And I think the same can be applied with media. With video games, same principle. Just play all types of genres. Play games that have come from the past and today. So with that being said, it's just, I feel like these two personal practices have had kind of an impact on my life to keep myself like consistently, not, I wouldn't say simple, but just like very grounded in reality, more focused. And it has definitely an opportunity for me to have some saying into a little bit of everything, because I try to fancy myself as that type of person, is just to know a little bit about everything just so I can have a conversation with somebody. And if I don't know about it, then I'll be like, I'm not sure about this. Either you inform me or I'll go look it up myself. And just with the idea of having less in your life, it feels like it's more. And that's when you feel like you've achieved minimalism and having a healthy media diet. I hope all of this has made sense, and go try it out right fucking now.